Hello, my name is Ava Oberti, and this is my virtual art exhibition. The country I chose was Spain, and this is throughout the ages, but primarily focusing on old Spaniard art. Spain has a long, rich history of artistic expression, deeply connected to its social and political and religious traditions. So today we're gonna explore 10 extraordinary works that showcase Spain's cultural heritage and focusing on the importance of preservation. In this tour, we will use three major analytical perspectives to understand these artworks. First off, the historical approach, social and cultural analysis, and the preservation and conservation efforts. The first painting is The Young Beggar. This is by Bartolomé Esteban Murillo. Right now it is housed in the Louvre Museum in Paris and is being preserved very well. But the main point of this painting, The Young Beggar, was supposed to shift our focus to the everyday struggles of the Spaniards. This was painted around 1645, so this was a realistic portrayal of a poor child picking lice from his clothes, and this is highlighting themes of poverty and survival. Murillo was known for his ability to balance realism with emotional depth, and this work is a testament to that skill. Again, this is housed in the Louvre Museum in Paris, and it is displayed in a very low light case to protect its delicate pigments. The second painting is called Las Meninas by Diego Velázquez. Right now, it's currently being housed in Prado Museum in Madrid. So currently, it is still in Spain. But this painting is probably one of the most famous paintings in Spanish history. It was painted in 1656. This painting is a masterpiece of Baroque realism, showcasing Princess Margarita and her attendants in grand. But it's surprisingly a candid moment. Velázquez even includes himself in the painting, blurring the lines between artist and subject. This technique was revolutionary for its time. To preserve the work, the Prado Museum has implemented advanced climate control systems to protect it from humidity and temperature changes. Next is the portrait of Duke Wellington by Francisco de Goya. Currently, it is being housed at the National Gallery in London. It is said to be painted between 1812 and 1814. This portrait captured the military hero who led Spain and its allies against Napoleon. Goya's use of dark, muted tones reflects the tense political climate of the time. This is not just a painting. It's a historical record of Spain's fight for independence. Currently, in London, this painting has undergone digital scanning and conservation treatments to prevent pigment decay. To finish up the visual art section, the fourth and final painting being shown is The Burial of Count Orgaz by El Greco. It is currently located in the Church of Santo Tome in Toledo, Spain. It was created in 1586. It blends realism with the supernatural. It tells the story of Count Orgaz, who was a nobleman, whose good deeds led to a miraculous burial. This painting is important because it represents Spain's deep religious heritage and the artist's unique style. The style was influenced by Byzantine and Renaissance traditions. To preserve it, experts in Toledo are working on a chemical-free conservation method to maintain the painting's integrity. For our next section, we are focusing on design, which is architecture as well as decorative arts. First, we are going to be looking at the Sagrada Familia, made by Antoni Gaudí. It is located in Barcelona. This is one of the most iconic landmarks in Spain. It is still currently under construction after more than a century. This cathedral blends Gothic and Nouveau art styles, reflecting Spain's deep architectural traditions. The preservation of this structure is a constant effort, using modern 3D printing to create Gaudi's original designs. The next design was made by Francisco de Zurbarán, and it is called Still Life with Lemons, Oranges, and a Rose. It is currently located at the Norton Simon Museum in the USA. His still life paintings, such as this one from 1633, showcase his masterful use of light and texture. His work often carried religious symbolism, connecting everyday life with the divine. Currently, it is carefully preserved at the Norton Museum using UV protective glass, and this is in Pasadena. To finish up the design section, we are going to be focusing on the Alhambra's geometric tile mosaics. This is in Granada. These were created during the 13th to 14th century, and they represent Spain's Moorish heritage. These intricate patterns symbolize infinity and divine order. Today, conservationists work to protect these delicate tiles from erosion and tourist damage. As we walk down this lovely church hall, we are going to go to our final section, which is the film section. 3 films are going to be featured. Our first film's title translates to The Cursed Village. It was directed by Florian Rey in 1930. It is a silent film that offers a striking portrayal of rural Spanish life in the early 20th century. The story follows a peasant family living in a poverty-stricken village, where harsh conditions and economic hardship forced many to migrate to the cities. The film explores themes of sacrifice, the struggle between tradition and modernity, and the importance of community. It also reflects Spain's broader economic challenges, leading up to the Spanish Civil War. This film is considered a landmark in early Spanish cinema. It has undergone extensive digital restoration by the Spanish Film Archive to prevent deterioration and ensure its historical value is preserved for future generations. Our next film is called Volver, and it was made in 2006, directed by Pedro Almodovar. It is a modern masterpiece that reflects resilience of Spanish women and the deep cultural traditions of rural Spain. It is set in the windswept plains of La Mancha, the birthplace of Don Quixote. The film follows a woman who returns to her hometown after her mother's ghost appears to resolve unfinished family matters. This film is a personal film, exploring deep themes of family, death, and the connection between past and present. The director's work is renowned for its rich colors, strong female leads, and emotional depth. The film highlights the importance of family bonds in Spanish culture and the role of women in preserving traditions. As a part of Spain's national film heritage, this movie has been highlighted and digitally archived to ensure its long-term preservation. The film remains an essential part of Spain's cultural identity in contemporary cinema. The final film in our exhibit is called The Spirit of the Beehive. It was directed by Victor Irais in 1973. This visually poetic film is set in the aftermath of the Spanish Civil War and serves as an allegory for Spain's post-war trauma. The story follows a young girl who grows up in a small, isolated Spanish village in the 1940s. After watching Frankenstein, she becomes obsessed with the idea of monsters and begins a journey of self-discovery, reflecting Spain's lingering fear and repression under Franco's rule. This film is a masterpiece of visual storytelling, using minimal dialogue and symbolic imagery to depict the psychological scars left by the war. It captures Spain's transition from dictatorship to modernity, making it one of the most significant films in Spanish cinematic history. To protect this cultural treasure, The Spirit of the Beehive has been meticulously restored and preserved in the Spanish National Film Archive. It remains one of Spain's most critically acclaimed films, studied worldwide for its deep, haunting atmosphere. To wrap this tour up, I'm going to be conducting an educational activity. This is going to be a quick art conservation quiz. You can answer these in your head. There's going to be 3 questions. The first question is, why do museums control temperature and humidity? A, to make visitors comfortable. B, to protect delicate artworks. Or C, to make the room look nice. The answer here is B. Yippee! The second question is, what is one way Spain preserves its historic films? A, by storing them in a hot room. B, by repainting the film reels. Or C, digitally restoring them. The answer here is C. Yippee! And the last question is, which of these artworks is still being built today? A, Las Meninas. B, Sagrada Familia. Or C, the portrait of Duke Wellington. The answer here is B. Yippee! Now to leave you with a reflection question, if you could save one piece, which one would you save? Thank you so much for participating in this activity. This will conclude my Old Spaniard Visual Museum exhibition. Thank you so much for watching, and please, if you have any questions about the film, don't be afraid to ask.